and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to something a little bit different. Welcome to the 2023 GSL Season 3 Code S Round of 8 Group B replay cast. Welcome, everyone. Of course, these matches, this event did occur a couple of weeks ago now at this point. A couple of weeks ago, we were supposed to wrap up this broadcast before ESL Masters, and then ESL Masters rocked up, and we got wrapped up in all of that, and ESL Masters has finally come to a conclusion, at least for now, you know, before DreamHack Atlanta. Now we have time to go over some of these GSL replay casts from times gone by. We wrapped up with Group A last week, and here we have Group B again. You may have already tuned into these, maybe watching live over on the GSL channel on YouTube or Africa, but we're here casting those replays ourselves. Exclamation mark GSL if you guys want to have a chance at actually supporting the GSL. It's really cool, but you can actually support them via Patreon with that command, and you can also gain things like replay packs. They have like player interviews and like photo shoots and all this other stuff, all these other benefits that you can get as well, other than just the replays. So yeah, you can of course support the Global StarCraft League in your own way. Otherwise, we're going to be diving into this. We're going to be diving into Group B again. Last week we covered Group A, and here in Group B, oh, we have quite a number of players, quite a number of matches before us. We have 4 players coming in. 2 players will advance on into the semifinals. The format for this season's GSL was a little bit different this year. It's been a little bit different. It goes from the round of 16 into the round of 8. The round of 8 still happens to be a group stage as well, which is, again, very different from years gone by, but it's just a way to, I guess, get more games out of these players, especially with the return of the GSL group. Like, we have the winners match, losers match, decider match as well. This is something that they got rid of last year, if I remember correctly, or maybe the start of the year, and then they got some feedback. People didn't like it. it was so weird having like a quote-unquote GSL without any GSL groups. It was so odd to experience, and that lasted a little bit, but then, you know, they got rid of that, they changed the format, and yeah, feels good to have everything back here as well. So again, we're going to be kicking things off with Creator versus Classic, followed by Bunny versus Dark. Then we have the winner of said series, and we have the losers of those series, and then the decider match at the end. 5 best of 3s tonight, and we get to experience at least a bit of representation from all the races as well. So it feels good, man. We get that balance, and I'm ready for it. Again, we were able to cast Dark earlier today, looking damn in form, damn dominant as well at ESL Americas, and I'm ready to experience some more Dark later on. What I'm really excited for is Bunny. Like, you know, there's no hiding, but I'm a massive Bunny fan ever since back in the day, back when he was on CJ Entis. Big CJ fan back in the Pro League days, and yeah, Bunny, he even has some decent English. He used to stream every now and then. He has his own Discord server. Like, Bunny, he's yeah, been around. Unfortunately, he did take a step back from the game at the start of the year. He has been less active, but he's been coming back, you know, competing in GSL, you know, popping up every now and then in the online weeklies, competing, of course, in WTL. What I will say is that I'm pretty sure Bunny, he's less full-time than some of these other players. I think actually every other player, Creator, Classic, and Dark, are full-time at this point. Bunny less so. But that's also why it's been really impressive to see Bunny perform well and make it into the round of 8, into the round of 8 of GSL, despite this not being his full focus as it once was. Which, again, impressive stuff. Impressive stuff here from Bunny, but we'll see if he can go further. But before we can sink our teeth into a Bunny, we can sink our teeth into a Classic and a Creator, as we have a PvP to kick things off. Ooh. Oh boy, here we go. Again, Creator and Classic, they have been facing off quite a lot. Creator, Classic, and Nightmare, I don't know what it is about them, but in these online weekly tournaments, the PvPs are insane. We get them so often in KSL, ESL Olympic Cup Asia, and the Americas, and even in GSL, they cannot avoid each other. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Club NV. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the other South Korean Protoss, the Red Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. And in In recent times, both players have their own play styles in a lot of matchups. Creator has a very iconic PvZ and even PvT, I will say. Classic, likewise, is a little bit more akin to Hero, a very aggressive and a very chaotic player in a lot of those matchups as well. But in PvP, things are a little bit different here. We have seen both players just really spice things up early on. I don't expect this. I'm going to be shocked if we do get a mid to even late game opener here between these players. I expect things to get a little bit more chaotic early on, but we'll see. We'll see. For now, 2 gate openers. We have a 2 gate opener here from Creator and from Classic as well. In recent weeks, we have actually taken note that a lot of the Korean protocols have been adopting the MaxPax Gate Expand opener instead. But I've been specifying that's usually Nightmare and Hero. Nightmare and Hero, they've been the ones that have been really embracing that a lot more than the others. Classic has been whipping it out every now and then. We have noticed in Classic versus Hero series, we have seen a little bit more gate expands from him, but not as much as some of the others. So 2 gate openers is what we should be expecting for the most part in this series. From here, things can go into a couple of different ways. Also, what I'm referring to when it comes to the openers is that because there isn't a ramp coming into the natural, for a very long time it was considered unsafe to try to go for a more economic opener, which is why we have these 2 gate openers instead, which have become quite standard. This is standard for everyone except for MaxPax. MaxPax, of course, goes for greedy economic openers regardless of the map. And what I mentioned before is that some of the other Korean protocols have been adopting that method as well in recent times, which has been really cool. It's been really cool to see the meta kind of evolve and shift and ebb and flow, and yeah, it's been fascinating to see. As we can see between these two, though, again, pretty standard stuff right now. Just 2 gates. We have our first 2 units. It's going to be double Stalker here from Creator. We have double Adept from Classic. Classic going to be delaying his expansion a little bit further here by taking his faster second gas, and we are going straight into a Stargate, straight into, I imagine, Oracles. So hyper aggression here out of Classic is going to be across the map with Adepts as well as Oracles to get economic damage done. Meanwhile, Creator, I believe, is in the dark. Looking at his vision, he hasn't seen the tech yet. Did go for his own Stargate a little bit later than that of Classics, but it's on the way, and we could end up with Oracles as well, or we could do something crazy and go Phoenix first. There's that Nexus on the way. Classic still just working through this pylon, trying to get his own base up and running. It's going to be a little bit later, but only by a couple of seconds. Not the biggest of deals here, not the biggest differential, as we are just building up that Adept count up to 4 Adepts, and are we going to see a 5th and a 6th Adept as well? So far, no dice. Not yet. Not yet here, as Classic is going to be moving across the map, headed towards the natural base. So far, just meeting up here with the Stalkers of Creator. Again, Creator is becoming a little bit overwhelmed, but he does pull back. Shield batteries finishing up just in time. He does go for a full wall as well with that 3rd gateway, and he is safe and sound. Meanwhile, we have our units of choice. No one is going Phoenix. Both players are going Oracles. And they do pass by each other, just barely missing. Again, Classic, his Stargate was a little bit faster, which means his Oracle was a little bit faster as well, going straight into the main. And where's that shield battery? Where are the Stalkers? Probes are going to be going down 2 already. We should be able to get a 3rd, maybe even a 4th. Barely getting a 4th worker there towards the end before getting the hell out of there. You see Classic behind this, going for his own Phoenix. Again, he's aware of at least the Oracle. Doesn't get any damage done. The shield battery finishes up just in time. And Classic, he does preserve his workers. Lost 1 probe earlier, but that was the scouting probe. And so far, Classic is in a better position. We can see here, Creator, he's forced to expend his energy back at him defensively. Gets an Adept. It's something. Oh, could even almost get a 2nd Adept as well. As the Oracles of Classic, they rotate back around, heading towards that main base. They want some more damage. They can, of course, one-shot workers. Huh. There we go. 1, 2 probes go down. Oh, the Oracles, they take a lot of hits from the Stalkers, though. 2 workers for an Oracle. Not ideal here for Classic. Likewise, Adepts are going down. 2 of them will be shading. Sorry, 1 of them is going to be shading into the main. And not even. We do force a cancel, and every Adept gets cleaned up. So again, at least Creator is able to gain some value here with his Oracles. No economic damage, but he shuts down the Adepts at least, as he's trying to keep up. So far, it was 7 probes for 1, or I guess it's technically 6 probes. 6 probes for 1 Oracle. It was an okay trade for Classic. He at least still has 1 more Oracle alive, so he can find maybe some more damage, some more value. Outside of that, both players are transitioning. You know, they've bounced off each other. Classic, he has a worker lead because of all the damage he dealt, and we are getting into Blink. Speaking of, Oracles do go for a big counterattack, and hey, we managed to get a couple of workers. 2 more probes go down. Creator slowly catching up. Still slightly behind in workers, but not as much as he once was. As we do see both players working towards their third bases. The aggression has since subsided. The Oracles are back at home. Adepts have been cleaned up. Now it's all about the Stalker versus Stalker, at least initially. Now, there are a couple of different ways that you can deviate from Stalker v Stalker. You can head into +1 and, of course, just double down on a gateway-based army. You can try to supplement your army with robo production, with Immortals. You can try to tech into Disruptors, which will be later on towards the mid-game. Once we get a 3-base saturation, there are different ways to tech up. And where are our players going to take us? But now, Stalker v Stalker is the bread and butter of PvP, and we do have a proxy gateway across the map here for Classic. We have 3 gates back at home with the proxy. That's going to be 4 gates in total. Likewise, Creator, just now working on his own 3rd gateway, so he's going to be down in the production. And Classic, he's pushing out. So while Creator invests into a 3rd base, Classic is investing into his aggression, into his army, into his production. And we're moving out. Look at the Unisab at Classic. He is slightly ahead in Stalkers. Has a stasis trap set up as well, is taking his 3rd base much later than that of Creators, as Creators is about to finish up. And we can dive into the main! No! We dive into the main base, but the stasis trap was ready, and oh my god, so many Stalkers get caught out. A big blunder there by Classic, and no idea what he was getting into. We clean up the remaining Stalkers. We do take another stasis to the face for Creator this time, but for the most part, he does come out on top. We can see he's getting ready here to just pounce on this army, getting ready for another stasis trap even. Ooh. Once again, half the Stalkers do get caught out. And again, a big cleanup here for Creator. Oh my god. Just completely shutting Classic down. Classic wanted to be the aggressor. Remember, he delayed his 3rd base. He threw down a 4th gateway. He wanted to be in the face of Creator. But not like that. Not quite like that. Looks like the Oracle may get picked up. No, not even, as, yeah, we are forcing a recall. Another Stalker is not going to go down. Oh, big stasis trap into the natural, by the way. Classic, he's not taking this lying down. He does manage to get some counter damage done, but that was still a big blow to the army. Classic down heavily here in Stalkers, down in economy, of course. The stasis trap is helping evening things up. But here we go, Creator. He is now going for his own counterattack. That Oracle threatening, thinking about another stasis trap. There's no shield battery. No shield battery here at the 3rd base. No overcharge. No Immortals. Just pure Blink Stalkers. And again, Creator, he is down in that Stalker count. Does have the defender's advantage. He's going to be looking to chase down Creator. Up. Gonna get one. Does get one Stalker here in the retreat. Up. Gets a 2nd. Creator a little bit late to blink. At the same time, though, it looks like a couple of probes did go down. Another stasis trap in towards the 3rd base. Only catches 1 probe this time, but a couple of Stalkers. And, oh, Creator, he's bleeding out quite a lot, actually. This time, blinking on time, does race back to the safety of a stasis trap. We have a 3rd base on the way. And both players are just doubling down here on mass Blink Stalkers. +1 in production. Actually, quite far ahead for Creator. It's about to finish up. Meanwhile, Charge is on the way, so Classic is trying to refine his army and try to pivot away from pure Stalker with Stalker Zealot. Yeah, there's going to be a big timing where Creator has +1 and his opponent does not. You try to make use of that. You see Classic rotating around, does get caught by that hallucination. Creator knows, he rotates. Rotates over. Keeping up with the army movement here of Classic. 4th bases are on the way for both players. Charge on the way as well. And we can see Classic already working towards Charge Archon with that Templar Archives. Does catch a probe, does catch a pylon. Once again, Creator keeping up with the movement. Oracle threatening the main base. Classic doing whatever he can to try to keep his opponent at bay. Like again, Classic, he's not committing to any kind of attack. He's just rotating, posturing, picking off pylons, hallucinations, just trying to keep Creator scared while he takes up. And he's kind of getting away with it. You know, as Creator is working towards Charge, but he doesn't have a Templar Archives. Creator doesn't have access to Archons. Classic will. And Archons, they melt Zealots. So there's going to be a bit of a power spike here for Classic once he gets his Archons going. Meanwhile, Creator does catch a pylon, or does find the proxy. He's going to shut it down. Now, Classic, he's aware of the location of the main army, so we can try to make use of that or try to abuse that. Classic, he thinks about moving out, but he does pull back in the end. And for the most part, both players are looking to max out. God, that's a lot of Zealots. And this is why it's so important that Classic, he has his Temple Archives done. But where are the Archons? Where are the Archons? With this many Zealots, we're going to need them. How many Zealots in total? We have 25 Zealots here for Creator. That's a lot of Zealots. And like 2 or 3 Archons, they can make short work of that kind of army, but that's not what Classic has, not right now. He has the tech for Archons, but he hasn't morphed any in. And here we go, Creator, he goes straight for that 4th base, for that 3rd even. He is maxed out, up 20-30 supply. Mineral line's going to be going down. Classic going to try to engage, but again, Creator, he's actually about to kick in with +2. We're a couple of seconds off. +2 is going to finish, and now we can commit to a fight. The Zealots are actually chewing through. They're getting on top of these soldiers. Classic being forced back. The Prism comes in. Not like this. Forced to come back home. Yeah, it looks like Classic is barely forcing this army back. We have a couple of stasis traps behind this army, which we want to try to bait this in. Up. Creator, does he see? Up. Oh, it looks like he does. He baits out the stasis trap. Nice moves here out of Creator. Shuts it down, pushes on forward here. That was one of the only chances. The only chance for Classic to hold on was a good stasis trap. Alas, it's only going to be Creator having good stasis traps, at least for this game. As he breaks through the main army, only a handful of Stalkers are remaining. GG gets called, and Creator will take game number 1. GG. That was wild. GG, well played. That was a solid game there out of Creator. Again, there were a couple of moments where I guess fortunate for him. Honestly, the stasis traps. The stasis traps were massive for Creator when Classic was trying to dive into the main base. Caught more than, I want to say, 70% of his army was caught in a stasis. Then after that, we had another follow-up stasis catching half of the army as well, back to back. And Creator just got so much momentum from that. He got got so much value out of those stasis traps, cleaned up the army, got away with a better economy, and we could see Creator snowball out of control towards the end there. He had, like, again, I want to say 20 more workers than his opponent. He had a much better economy, which snowballed out of control, which translated into a better army as well, or a larger army, I should say. There's maybe a world out there, maybe a world where if Classic had morphed in a couple of Archons preemptively, because again, he had the tech for it. He had the tech for quite some time. If we had a handful of Archons, maybe with a shield battery, an overcharge, and a dream, maybe we could hold on. But even then, there was just so much working against Classic at that point. In a mirror matchup, it's difficult to come back from a deficit, and with that, Creator does take the first game. But now we're getting into game number 2, and again, that still felt very much so on a knife's edge. If it wasn't for those stasis traps, we could have seen a very different game. Remember, Classic, he intentionally did delay his expansion to be aggressive. He got punished for it, but again, if there didn't happen to be those stasis traps in position, then we could have seen a very different game. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkyone, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Twisted Minds down in this series, looking to fight back. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player leading the series 1-0, representing Club NV. It is Creator. Creator, of course, one of, if not the only player still supported by NV. And I mean, it is really cool that they can support him, but unfortunately, from my understanding, NV, they only have the funds. NV, aka they used to be Abydos. Last season of WTL, they were Team Abydos. They only have the funds to support one player, so you know they've got Creators back, thankfully, but they did have to relinquish the rest of their team. They had to disband the rest of their team, dissolve even, and most of them have found new homes, thankfully. You know, in the dissolution of Abydos, we had Nightmare going to Maturino, we had Kior going to Team Liquid. you know, they were able to find some good homes. Unfortunately, I bring this up every now and then. DRG is the one that's still without a home. He's like the only notable pro player, I think, in Korea that doesn't have a team doesn't have the team currently. So hopefully, like Cure and like Nightmare, DRG can find a place. Been around for a very long time, very old school player, but a very strong player as well. That's something that I should emphasize, is that by no means is you know, he overshadowed by the rest in any big way. We have seen DRG be very active as well in these online events. But for now, hello Pylon. Pylon has been thrown down, and we are going for a one-base all-in on Alcyone. Ah, Papi. Let's go. Proxy Robo here from Classic. Meanwhile, Creator, he is aware that the Pylon is missing. With that Probe Scout, Creator, he is checking this mineral wall, checking to see if maybe Classic had gone to the other side to go for a Proxy Stargate. Proxy Stargates here in this position, or in this position depending on where you spawn, is very common. So Creator does check there first, and now he's racing back home. This is a very interesting location for a Proxy Robo, just because it's technically on Classic's side of the map. It is still close to Creator, don't get me wrong, but it's on Classic's side. So Creator, very unlikely that he's going to scout there, as he checks the other mineral wall just in case. Again, it makes sense to check these locations first. And Creator, he's still unaware as to what's happening. There it is, Immortals are on the way. It's all coming down. Meanwhile, Creator back at home, going for a sentry follow-up for a bit of a scout for a hallucination. Going for his expansion, shield battery on the low ground. This is going to be a tough hold here for Creator. Adepts do not shade into the main. And this hallucination scout is going to be very important. Adepts will continue to threaten, and we should be on top of these walls. First Immortal is out, War Prism is on the way. Hallucination making a beeline to the natural, and looking at the vision here, it looks like we do confirm there's no expansion. It's a one base all in. Creator, he doesn't know what it is, but he knows that something is wrong and that something is coming his way. So he's pulling back, he's taking a defensive position, sentries are coming in as well. He also confirms the lack of Twilight Council, so he knows that it's unlikely to be a Blink-based all-in. Otherwise, the Twilight Council should be at home. So should recognize that it's going to be Robo-based instead. Depths, they continue to threaten that shade. Prism has arrived. Creator chasing this back, does get eyes on the War Prism. He sees! There we go, he's rotating over. Tops up his army with that shield battery. No shield battery in the main. Uh-oh. There is no shield battery. Immortals, they push on forward. So far, good damage is done by the juggling. Keep the Immortals alive. We keep the other units alive as well. Classic hasn't lost anything yet. He did kill one Stalker. We have a defensive Immortal on the way here from Creator. So far, pulling back his weakened units as well. Up. Ooh. Does lose one of his Stalkers. Oh, the juggling. As we barely keep the army alive, we do have a second Immortal arriving and a third Immortal on the way for Classic. Remember, he is completely all in with this. Oh, the Adepts say shade in. We do threaten that shade. Creator, he does see the elevator into the main. He does have eyes on this, but the entire army gets in. Oh, a late reaction here from a Creator. Classic is looking to break on through. Sentries are going down. Where are the force fields? They're not here. The Immortal's barely going to survive. Barely does survive. The boys are being pulled, but alas, there's just not enough here. Where's the overcharge? It's out of range. The shield battery is out of range of the overcharge, or to get an overcharge. And yeah, the juggling is just too good. Every single worker goes down. Classic basically working with Blink. Does lose one Immortal. Does lose an Immortal. He's just warping into the main base. The production is too much. GG gets called. Creator has nothing left here. Only a single Immortal. And Classic ties it up 1-1. GG. Oh my god. At the start, I was like, yo, it's going to be a short series. And to be fair, game one was a little more back and forth. But here in game two is kind of what I expected out of the series. GG, well played. Classic was able to pull off that one base all in. Again, Creator, he just wasn't really set up for it, unfortunately. It took him a very long time. A very long time to recognize what was wrong and what was happening and whether or not there was a committed proxy or not. Again, just because of its location, it was just so difficult to get a read on what was happening. Also really unfortunate that the shield battery in the main base was closer to the production and to the ramp, less so to the Nexus, so a little bit less valuable. There was a little bit less, less support that it really had to the main army. And Creator, he just wasn't able to keep up with the elevator into the main. Remember, it was like 3 trips, I think. I think it took 3 trips for for Classic to get everything into the main base. And again, Creator, he was just out of position. Could not stop it. Could not deny it. And with that, we're going to the ace match. We are going all the way to game number 3. Let's go. It all ends here. It all ends on Solaris. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Solaris, we have the South Korean Protoss representing Club NV. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have South Korean Protoss player forcing the ace match, taking that second game, representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. Here we go, and Creator. Where we go? Creator going to be skirting the edge of the map here, going through the center initially, but avoiding the main attack path. And what do we have in store for us? Are we looking to commit to a forge? We're cannon rushing? No shot. Wait, what? I just assumed it was a gateway, but it was a really weird positioning back at home. It's a forge first. He's crazy. Creator. He's gonna cannon rush Classic. Oh my god. Well, Classic is going for a 2-gate opener. He's going to be leaving as well. We do have the second probe coming in, making it look like a regular probe scout. Cannon has begun, and we should be committing to a proxy gateway here on the low ground, I imagine, to slowly push our way into the main. Or are we just going to straight up cannon rush? I mean, there are no gases being taken. No cybercore potential. Classic, he's in the dark. He doesn't know. Oh my god. Creator. Pylon into the main. Classic does have eyes on this. He is wise to it. He is aware. Boys are being pulled, but the cannons are about to finish. And Classic cannot touch this pylon. Not with probes. If he tries to, again, he will just die to these cannons. So Creator, yeah, we're forcing a cancel on the second gateway. We are slowly, yeah, we're just leapfrogging forward, laying siege. Soon to lay siege upon this mineral line. Probes that have to be pulled. This third cannon is a little bit too far forward. Classic with a proxy pylon out on the map. Looks like one gateway is going to be canceled. Sorry, one cannon is going to be canceled, but the other should be able to finish. Oh my god, there are just so many of them. Just a straight up cannon rush into the main. We're within range of the Nexus as well. There we go. We have one cancel. Oh, that's going to be a kill, not a cancel, and that's another kill as well. Oh, some rough losses there for Creator. He only finishes up one cannon in the main. That's going to be a kill on the probe. Both probes have fallen. Second cannon is finishing, but we have a Stalker. And we have a Ninja base. With this Nexus, we can recall. We can just evacuate. We can abandon the main base. It looks like Classic, he has recognized that these cannons are going to finish, and they are going to threaten the mineral line, and there isn't really much that Classic can do about it. So he's just going to leave. He's just going to accept that this base is going to be under control of Creator and just get the hell out of there. Meanwhile, Creator, he's not done. He's taking gases, and we are going into a gateway. Void Rays are on the way. Proxy Stargate. Oh my god. For a moment, I thought it was Creator with the Stargate, but no, it was Classic. That's why he canceled the gateway. Okay, main base is going to go down. Again, we do want to bunch up these probes and recall the hell out of here. Creator, he's looking for the base. He's looking for the Nexus. Nexus still about to finish up. Cybercore is going to go down. This one Void Ray could end the game. I mean, I say end the game. Could do so much here across the map. Creator doesn't have a Cybercore, no Stalkers. The only things it shoots up are cannons. We're just waiting for the Nexus to finish. Meanwhile, Void Ray going straight for the main base. 2 cannons are going to finish up, but we can try to avoid those cannons and try to take down at least some of the gas geysers. Ooh, we go straight for the cannon itself. We're going to get it. We to activate the prismatic alignment. Cannon is going to go down. Shield batteries are on the way. Pylon is exposed. Creator, he's looking. He does come across the Stalker. We need warp pins. We're going to have one Stalker. Pylon goes down. We depower the shield batteries. Depower that cyber core as well. Meanwhile, Classic was able to recall towards the safety here of this base. Creator doesn't really have the resources to go for a second cannon rush. Void Ray is coming back home. Creator now knows it's one base versus one base. Technically, Classic is ahead in tech. He does have a second Void Ray coming out. He's ahead in army. And yeah, Creator can't really do much at the moment. I mean, he can try to dance with the Void Rays. With the help of the shield battery, he should be able to fight a Void Ray head on. But when it comes to expanding, when it comes to taking a natural, that's going to be a tough ask. Here we go. The army of Classic is pushing forward. 2 Void Rays, 1 Stalker up against 3 Stalkers of Creator. Again, we have prismatic alignments, of course, in the chamber as well. Yeah, we force the overcharge. We force the prismatic alignment. We get one of those Stalkers. We could maybe get a second as well. Creator has to be very careful. Oh, down goes the gas guys. Oh, the Stalker barely survives. We don't have Warp Gate, by the way. Back at home, Classic getting everything up and running, and it feels like Classic is in control. Feels like he's in the driver's seat at this point. Creator just lost a gas geyser. Warp Gate's finishing up. He is going to have 2 gateways available. Sorry, 4 gates. 4 gates available and a proxy pylon. Can Creator turn the tables here on Classic? There is a shield battery finishing up here on the right-hand side. Can we? I think we have to commit to a 1 base 4 gate all in. Like that's the only play here. Ah, Adepts. There we go. Adepts are on the way. So 2 Adepts do one-shot workers. If they shade into the mineral line, they can just have their way with these workers. Stalkers have revealed themselves. Going to be depowering this gateway. Probe goes down. Here come those Adepts. Void Ray's a bit out of position. Yeah, we do shade in. 1 probe, 2 probes go down. And so much lost mining time. The economy dropping to 0 there for Classic. Adepts are going to be chased away. Stargate has been found. Model comes out. We're going for our own defensive Stargate here for Creator. Let's find the proxy. Gonna try to shut it down. Classic trying to vie for control of the map, but there are so many Stalkers! Up! Yo, and have we been caught out? Pylon's gonna fall. The army of Classic does get the hell out of there. Vader thinking about maybe even going for a ninja base. Be rotating around. He does have eyes on the shield battery. He's aware. Warp Prism slipping into the main base, trying to save one of these Stalkers, or trying to even kill the Stalker here of Creator. I love it. He's going around the long way to pick off these pylons, and yeah, he can do so. Without being attacked by the cannon, there is a bit of a better angle here. Pylon goes down. Cannons are depowered. Creator going for his own ninja base. This is getting rowdy. This is getting wild. Look at the army tab here. Creator, he's up to 9 Stalkers. He does have a Void Ray back at home. 2nd Void Ray's on the way. We're running out of minerals here. Classic on the flip side, going for a heavy Void Ray Immortal composition. Now, right now is when Classic is at his most vulnerable, because he does have part of his army split up here towards the left-hand side, but he's bringing everything together, consolidating his army. With 3 Immortals, I think I want to favor Classic here. 3 Immortals, 2 Void Rays, they should just have their way with a Stalker army. The Stalker should melt in a head-to-head fight. There's always potential for Creator to maybe try to pick apart this army or force field the ramp. That's another big possibility. Recalling the probes here towards that ninja base. Hallucination does spot the army. Does spot the army of Classic. And Creator, he has to hold. And it's all about those force fields. And it looks like 3 Stalkers, they get caught out. 3 of them go down instantly. 3 Stalkers for 1 Void Ray. What a bad trade here for Classic. Considering that he's really relies on Immortals more so than Void Rays at the moment. And he does find his way up the ramp. Pushing towards main, catches another Stalker. Ah. Creator, not like this. Pylon goes down. Additional force fields as well. We don't want to overextend. We have to respect the shield batteries and the overcharge. Slow and steady here for Classic. But again, he has just such an intense army. He's going straight for the Nexus itself. And the Void Rays, they have to engage, but the base is going to fall. At the same time, we do have some Adepts across them. They're getting worker down. They're getting worker kills. We have to commit. We have to try to. Void Ray is going to be trading out. Stalker's going to be falling as well. If we can kill all the Stalkers, then maybe we can pull this off. But the Void Ray pulling back to the shield battery. Forced to recall back home. That's 10 probe kills, by the way. And Creator, he still has that ninja base. Oh my god. Okay. So Creator, he's got a second Void Ray on the way. Like, I'm feeling a win condition for Creator is that if he kills all the Stalkers, if he focuses down all the Stalkers, then Classic can't shoot up with those Immortals. But there's still just so many Stalkers here for the red Protoss, the Classic. Still got six Stalkers left. 3 Immortals, some Sentries. Now, Classic, he's aware that there's a base out there. Otherwise, we would have gotten the message that the buildings are being revealed. So Classic, he knows. Oh, and the Hallucination does find it. Classic, he does come across it with the Haluk. He knows, he is aware, and he's moving out. This is going to be the final stand of Creator. He cannot let up. Do we have shield? Oh, no shield batteries, no overcharge. Just a straight up fight against 3 Immortals. Yeah, and Classic, he should have more than enough here. As long as he focuses down the Void Rays, his Immortals can do everything else. And there we go, 1 Void Ray up is not going to go down, but the other will. And just like that, Classic is snowballing out of control. GG gets called, and Classic will survive the cannon rush and take the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Classic, keeping a cool, calm, and collected head. I love that he canceled his second gateway. Remember, he canceled the second gateway so he could have enough money to not just go for the ninja base, but also go for a proxy Stargate as well, so he would have Void Rays. And I would say those Void Rays from Classic were the MVP. Obviously, towards the end of the game, they weren't as important, but they got him to the end of the game, right? Like, without those Void Rays, Creator would have had a much better economy. He would have had a much stronger kind of setup to get into the stage that we just saw. The Void Rays of Classic did so much for himself, helping to win fights, helping to maintain control of the economic situation of Creator, and yeah, GG, well played. Classic handling that very well, and Creator cannon rushing for the first time in a long time in GSL. I want to say the last time we saw a cannon rush in GSL, am I crazy? Was it Prince? Was it Prince versus Maru? Was there a time after that when there was a cannon rush? If there was, I don't remember it, unfortunately, but yeah, like Prince versus Maru is the quote-unquote latest one that stands out in my mind. Oh god, was there another cannon rush in PvT? I'm trying to think. I don't think there was, but yeah, wild. Wild nonetheless. And with that, we have our first series here in the books. Classic will take it. And now we're going to be getting ready for our next best of 3. But a shout out to Creator again. He made it close. Made it damn close. Went all the way to the ace match. Up next, we do have our other 2 players here in the group. We're going to be taking a break from the Protosses. we don't want to OD on cannon rushes and Protoss nonsense. I mean, I would appreciate it. It's beautiful, but we'll get some more after this. Classic advances on to the winners match. Creator moves down to the elimination match. And up next, we have a TVZ between Bunny and Dark. Here we go.